Hey y'all, it's Brandon with Voodoo Forge. Now I want to talk to you about a couple of strut tools today in the blacksmith shop. I want to talk to you about a hot cut and a cold cut and the differences in them. Clearly one of them's made for cutting hot and one of them's made for cutting cold material. So I'm going to show you a couple of things so maybe you'll have a better understanding of them. Well, you can see a difference in the shape right off the bat. The hot cut, as you can see, is a much steeper angle, and that's because as it's cutting hot material, which is softer, it doesn't have to have as much strength up here. So it can go quicker and deeper because it's more narrow. So it requires less force. It's going into softer material. It doesn't require the strength or rigidity of the cold cut. You can see the cold cut is more blunt, I suppose, or it's not as steep of an angle. And this is so it has the strength to cut through cold material. I use one of my old swedge blocks as a cut block. Anytime you're cutting with either a hot or a cold cut, you're going to want to cut on something that's not the face of your anvil. There are a lot of things you can use. The cast iron anvil shaped objects are good. Just a piece of track, just a big piece of steel you can cut on so you don't damage the face of your anvil. But we'll start with demonstrating the cold cut. You get the gist of it. Cold material, you can just power right through it. You can also mark material that you're going to then put in the forge to cut. I'll show you how to do that. You can actually cut circles with cold cuts or cold chisels in material, in plate material. Okay, so I'm going to use the hot cut on this material, but so I can mark it, so I know where I want to cut it, I'm going to mark it with the cold cut. Go. That line right there, I'll be able to see that after the material is hot in the forge. I'll still be able to see it and cut it with my hot cut. Okay, the first rule of hot cutting is the material's hot. You can see the line that we put in with the cold cut, so I can easily get right on it. Take that. Knock her right up. Well, I cut it off. There we go. If I hadn't been filming, that would have popped right out. Here's another example of something you can do with a hot cut. Marked the lines with the cold cut and did it, but I got off. This is a reject from another project, but it gives you an example of, you can cut material out. Also, you can slit material if you're forging an axe and you're forging the body out of mild steel and you want to put a hardened steel bit in there. You can split it with a hot cut to make the slit to put your hardened steel in and then forge weld it. If you're cutting leaves or something like that, hot, the hot cut is the way to go. Anything where you would use a cutoff wheel on a grinder or a bandsaw today, traditionally a hot cut or a cold cut would have been used. Well, that's pretty much the differences. Of course, what you can do with these, it just depends on your imagination. But basically these take the places of, like I said, a cutoff wheel on a grinder and a bandsaw. Anything you would be cutting, you can do it without mechanical means with these tools. And they can be sharpened and last you a lifetime. They can be reforged, anything. I'll be doing a video later on how to make a hot cut and a cold cut. So we've got that to look forward to. But anyway, if you like the video, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. Put a link to the channel Facebook page and my website in the description. All right, y'all behave yourselves.